I'll tell you, the reason I think Frank would make a great council member is, first of all, his judgment, his life experience. He's really dedicated himself to making Santa Monica a better place and more enjoyable for all of those of us who live here. He was on the best planning commission we've had in many, many years, and he really cut his teeth in learning how to make difficult decisions, which is one of the things you have to do when you're on the city council.
And I'm a bicycle advocate, and so Frank is a bicyclist, and I really like that about Frank. He's willing to experience the city on two wheels. It's very healthy to do so. It really helps build the urban environment to not be driving a car constantly, and so I love that about Frank.
I've known Frank since probably for 10 or more years, originally with a group that sort of started as the Friday group that turned into SEPs. And I found Frank to be an incredibly smart and reasonable person who looks at a whole range of considerations about issues and really is a very thoughtful kind of person. And I think that the city would really benefit from having somebody that has that kind of reasoned, thoughtful way of looking at and bringing together perspectives from what sometimes in our community we think are diverse but are probably actually fairly similar concerns and agendas to move us forward.
Frank is the kind of guy, he brings the most reasoned possible solutions to any problem. He doesn't let ideology get in his way. He doesn't let friendships get in his way. He just has a vision for a city. I've known it for a long time. It's a fine-grained community that he envisions. It's a place where people are going to know one another. They're going to be out in the streets. They're going to be walking. Not everybody's going to be in their car. They're not going to have to take a quarter. They're going to have to take a 4,000-pound car to get a quart of milk. I think he's really got a vision of a city that is really workable and really livable. And I think he exemplified a lot of that tonight.
I think Frank would be a great city councilor because he would add a degree of balance to the city. Because to the city council, he's very interested in urban design issues, land use issues, architecture, and these have a significant impact on the quality of life for people in the city. That's not to say that's the only things he's interested in. He's very broad-minded, very well-read, interested in all issues, but particularly these issues. And he's written extensively in his columns about those issues, participated in the loose process that we went through at the Planning Commission. And I think that would be fantastic to have that perspective on a city council.
I think Frank would make a great councilman because he really has an understanding of the complexities of an urban place. And I think that he has been observing different aspects of the city now and writing about it for several years. And I think, and served as a planning commissioner as well, and has been a resident of the city for a long time, has raised his son here, and I think that he really understands the people, the needs, the complexities, the layers, the nuances of what a city is.
Frank could make a great council person because it would give him a chance to really take action on all the things he's been writing about in his column for the past 10 years or so. Actually, I'm sorry Frank's running for council because I'm going to miss his column. It was really a resource to me. So I'm really glad he's running because now he can put all that stuff into action that he's been talking about.
Frank is a good thinker and he'll guide things. I think he'll guide the process, he'll guide the thinking that then becomes a consensus. That's what Santa Monica's democracy is all about. And I think we've always, for the most part, our best councils have been across the board spectrum points of view. Just like when we were on Planning Commission together, we have the spectrum of points of view and we hash things out respectfully. And I think that we like to think in any case that we made good decisions for Santa Monica at that time. And I think Frank would do very much the same as a council person. The city would be remiss not to elect him.
Local government is where people interact most closely with government. In a personal way. Sure, my dad, you know, it's important for him to have his Medicare. It's important for him to have his Social Security check. But it's really even more important for him when he walks out of his apartment and what that street is like, and what the situation is on that street, and who his neighbors are, and do they feel a sense of community? Well, that sense of community comes from the way we interact with each other, and an important part of that is your local government. So I believe that life and politics in a locality, especially one as intimate as Santa Monica, are you know, threaded together. That life and politics, in a certain sense, can't be separated, and that's a good thing, I think. Not that we elevate politics more important than other civic institutions that we have. They're all important. Our jobs are important. But the way we communicate with our neighbors is ultimately through a filter of politics. And so I am very pleased to be involved in the race and looking forward to it.
Please vote for Frank Gruber for Santa Monica City Council.